So yes, in our last class we talked about variables in JavaScript. We talk about how to declare a variable, and we said that variable in JavaScript is declared with three keywords. The first one is the var, the second one is the let, and the third one is the const, which is the constant. And then we said that if we are going to declare a variable, already we know that a variable is a container that holds value. So if we are going to create a variable with a value, how do we do it? We use the keyword provided for us by JavaScript. So we said that we can create a variable like this. So when we say let j equal to 10, we are creating a variable called j and assigning the value 10. Then we are also creating a variable with a constant variable, constant keyword. So we are saying that h should have the value of 7. But then there are differences between them. We said that the constant, any variable that you declared with what? With a const keyword is a variable that the value will remain the same. Okay, will be constant. Okay, the value will be constant all through the life of that variable. Okay, and we said that the third one is the var keyword. You use the var to create a variable and then assigning a value. Then from there we said that there are things that we need to understand when it comes to a variable in JavaScript. When you declare a variable, there are different ways to it. There is what we call initializing a variable and assigning a value to that variable. Take for example, we said that if we say let x and we end it with with a semicolon, what we are saying is that the value of x is equal to 6. So but the first thing we first do was to initialize the variable. Okay, so we call this process of creating a variable with a keyword without assigning a value as initializing the variable. And the moment when we want to use the variable, we don't need to use a keyword to declare it again. So because it's already been declared. So if we come here and we now use let, for example, okay, that means we are redeclaring variable. All right. So as long as, can you hear me, sir? Hello? Alright, sir. So as long as the x is equal to 6, the value will remain will remain 6. So if we come and we say console.log, okay, and then we pass in the variable x, okay, and then we run the code. So how do we run the code in JavaScript? How do we run the code in terminal? So what we do, the first is you navigate into the folder, okay, that is holding your JavaScript. So in this case, I am inside the web class. All right. Now I want to see the file that are inside there. So I can see all the files that are there, the JavaScript, the HTML, and the CSS are all here. Now what I want to do is I want to now run this JavaScript file. How do I do it? For me to run the JavaScript file, what do? I will now call node. I'll call node and then call the name of my file. In this case, the name of my file is index.js. So I'll do something like this, index.js. And when I hit enter, so you can see that it's printing 6 for us. Now, let's comment this out for a bit. We'll come there. Okay, let's comment this out a bit. We'll come there. So now we are now getting what? We are now getting 6. Okay, so we are having 6 because we have this variable. Now I want to comment out the x equal to 6 that we are doing, and then when I run it, when I run it like this, so it's telling us undefined. Why? Because the variable is just what? Declared. Nothing was assigned to it. So any variable that you declare without assigning a value to it will be an undefined variable. Alright? Okay, so that will be an undefined variable. So for us to now get a variable that is defined, we need to assign a value to it. Now from here, we now talk about different data type in what? In JavaScript. We said that there are different data type. One of them is what? A string. That anything inside a double quote and a single quote are string. So take for example, we say const name equals to John. Sir, you said something?
No, I'm repeating what you're saying.
Okay. Yeah, so const name will be equal to John, and then we say const age, for example. Age. Let's look for something that is a string. School or location. Let's say location. So I'll say loc, and then I'll say equal to, okay, and then I'll say Mozambique. Okay, I'll say London. Okay, I'll call it London. Then now I want to use a single quote, so I'll say London like this. Okay, now let's console log the name and the location, right, like this. Okay, like this and like this. So and then let's change this to what? Log, like this. Okay, and then let's run the code. Let's run our code. That will give us, you see, so it's giving us John and London. Why is this possible? Because we are what? A string, a double quote and a single quote are all string in JavaScript. All right. Now, then we also said that there are certain things that you cannot declare, you cannot do with what? With a JavaScript variable. Okay. Any variable that you are going to create in JavaScript, you must explicitly what? Already under the hood, okay, JavaScript already know the type of data you are dealing with. So already know that if it's wrapped around a single quote or double quote, or it's an integer, is a number, it knows that it's an integer. If it's called is having what? It's having what's it called? It's having decimal places. It's already known. Okay, so and then we take a look at a string, and then we take a look at what? Integer data type. Okay, then we also look at the boolean. Okay, the boolean, and then we said that a boolean is a truthy or falsy what? Value. Then we also look at array, and we said that array is a collection of what? A same data type. Okay, so you can have an array of different data type in what? In JavaScript. Okay, sorry, not different type of the same data type in JavaScript. All right. So and I said that that's even the same thing with what? With Python. So let's say we are creating an array, for example, and we say let's what should be the name of our array? Let's say fruits, like this, and then we say then we say equal to, and then a square bracket. Now inside this square bracket, we can pass in different what is it called? Different fruits. Okay, you can say what's fruits? Mango. Okay, we can pass in mango here. Sorry, let's pass in mango. Okay, mango, like this. Okay, then we can pass in what other fruit? Carrots. Okay, carrots. Is carrot a fruit? I don't know, but for now let's look at it as a fruit. Okay, and then what about guava? Yes, like this. Okay, so we said that this is how to create an array in what? In JavaScript. Okay, and if we decide to console log fruits, let's console log. We console log console.log where are you going? Console.log, and then we pass in what? Fruits, like this. Okay, so and then when we run our code again, we should be able to see our list of what? Fruits. So this is what we said the last time. All right, now let's continue. So there are also another thing we also talk about is the null data type. The null data type is when you create a variable that is empty, no value is assigned to it. Okay, so at this point you are not initializing, you are actually creating a variable, but you are not assigning a value to that variable. So that variable, you can put a null. Null simply means empty. Okay, so we also look at that data type. Are we together? All right, so then these are some of the data types that JavaScript allow us to make use of. Then we also talk about concatenation, which is what we are doing here. So we created a variable with a null value, okay, and then we created another variable, first and last name, and then we said that we can have something like this, and then when we print it, okay, let's print them. Okay, now that we console log, it's telling us full name, there's what? A null value, and do. Okay, so it's telling us that there's no value for John, but then we can add another what? Another value here, so we can call it Mike. Okay, Mike Doe. All right, and there we have it. So this is how we can use different data type in JavaScript, and then we'll come along across so many other ones as we proceed. So today we are going to be talking about functions in JavaScript. Functions in JavaScript. A function in JavaScript is a reusable block of code that allow us to what? To hide, okay, information in the function and invoke it when we want to use it. So take for example, we want to create a function, okay, a function that greets you in the morning or in the evening, because we are in the evening hour for now. So we want to create a function that says good evening sir. How do we do it? We can create a function like this. We'll call the function, okay, then the function name. What's the name of our function in this case? Greetings. So we say greetings like this. Then inside this parameter, so whatever we put here is called a parameter. Okay, so we don't want to put any parameter. What we want to do is what? We want to console log good evening. Okay, so we say console.log good evening, like this. Okay, so sorry, we need to wrap it around what? A double quote, like this. Okay, so now this is how to create a function in JavaScript. The first you must do is what? The function keyword. The next one that will follow is the function name with the parentheses. Okay, this is brackets. This bracket is what I call parentheses. Okay, and then your curly brace, and inside of this curly brace is where operations that you want to perform inside this function must happen. Anything outside of this curly braces is going to throw an error. Okay, it's no longer, it does not belong to this function. Are we together, sir? All right, so now how do we now call this function? We can call this function by what? By calling the function name greetings like this. Do you understand, sir?
Yes, sir.
All right, so this is how we can call the functions. The function we have just created. So function greetings, then console.log good evening, and then we are printing the function. So when we run this code, let's run it. So you can see that it's telling us what? Good evening. Now what if we want to add a name? Okay, we want to say it should say good evening Mr. Jacob, good evening Mr.